Good morning. You're watching QTV this morning. I am Ibrahim Abalde. We are back again on another edition. How was your weekend? I mean, mine was good. I was at home throughout, home, the sub. So, I mean, a lot of activities. It's not that the weekend we just go spend it throughout at the house, but we Fulanis and doing business. So we are back again on another edition. We're asking how was your weekend. Please send us comments on our social media handles and tell us how you spent your weekend. And it's a rainy Monday morning. I mean, Mr. Ade.
It is, and I'm glad you didn't ask me how my weekend was, because I'll be asking you what is a weekend. Sunday is my only day off, as you know, so it's not much of a weekend, but I spent it relaxing, as usual, watching lots of football, documentaries, and a couple of movies, and yeah, it was good.
Yeah, I was here on Saturday. I met you here.
Yeah, so the rains came. 4:47 is when they came in my area heavily.
And it rained heavily.
And it was heavy.
At that time. It was very heavy. And there was a thunderstorm.
There was lightning, a couple of things that were outside were knocked over, blown away actually by the wind. The wind was quite ferocious for a while. And for about 2 hours it was really quite heavy. It might even be torrential.
Mr. Carr, good morning. So did it rain around your end?
Of course, we live in the same vicinity, so it rained. And it rained the wrong time, when you are really deep into your sleep, then it starts raining and you have to get up, and come to get ready to walk. So the timing, I think we'll have to speak.
We have to make the
say, can you do it very early, around after midnight?
Yes.
Then we have a place. And also the water table builds up, that's what we use in our drinking water. Without water, the table drops down. And so water is important, it's the source of life.
And in fact, it will change the temperature of the environment. You can see few days back or few weeks we've been complaining how hot the atmosphere was.
Well, you can blame me for this particular rain, because earlier in the day I spoke to my sisters, one in America, one in the UK, and they were saying, you guys are into the rain season. And I said, what rain season? I said, in the urban areas we've virtually had, if you added up all the rain we've had, since the start of the so-called rain season, we've not even had up to 2 hours worth of rain, and then of course overnight the rain decided, I'll teach you a lesson, and boy did it rain.
It feels more like a drought season.
It feels,
I almost thought
you mentioned it when we spoke.
I mentioned it the other time. I said things are changing. I mean, when I was much younger, I mean, we experienced early rains around May.
Regular.
Yes, around May. But now it changed. I am pretty sure August, it will go end of August to September. It will even rain in September, probably. Things are changing. Climate change is becoming more real. It's manifesting itself. I think it's important for people to take heed. Instead of we sitting and talking about how to come up with solutions to mitigate climate change, it's important for us to start doing actions now. Otherwise, it will definitely...
But the people who've benefited from this dry weather here, certainly when I drive along the last few weeks, I see lots of young people who are on holidays, school holidays, going to the beach, Saturday, Sunday.
Sunday beach.
Sunday particularly, of course. And I'm glad for them, because the only reason we have our holiday now is when the European colonizers wanted to go and spend summer in Europe.
Oh, okay.
That's why that's why our holiday is set during the rain season. It's the most inappropriate time, really, for holidays, because outdoor, particularly in our sub-region, when it's the rain season, it's not ideal.
And we call it summer holiday.
No, I hate that, because it's not summer here. It's summer in Europe.
We call it summer
here.
Okay, so that's the link there.
Well,
these people are going for summer and they call it summer holiday.
Yeah, they would
we still continue calling it summer holiday in Gambia while it's raining.
Yes.
Yeah, so we have a very packed program today. We'll not be doing the African code.
And our viewers will complain, but anyway.
Yes, I know, but I mean, we have a packed one.
Yep.
So we'll be talking to Usman Bojang, Director of Trade, Ministry of Trade, on the Africa Continental Free Trade Agreement. Yep. And from there, we'll also be talking to Lamin Sambu, World Hepatitis Day.
Hepatitis.
Hepatitis rather.
World
And
Hepatitis
Malik DM Mane would be here, and Lamin Sambo.
Yeah.
Then QCell Sunyu Boss, as you know, on Sunday was free call day. I mean,
and boy, did some people make use of it.
Exactly. I mean, even one of my childhood friends, I mean, a person who doesn't call me for almost a year called me yesterday. And when I saw the call, I was like, come on, thank you, man.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, so we'll be engaging these people. But Mr. Ade, let's take a look at the newspapers. Do you have any?
I have some, including one with a misspelling of Hussein Dabo's surname, which I find
Really?
extraordinary. You know,
Dabo and Salah.
He said Dabo and Salah. His name is D-A-R.
Or to be pillars of change ahead of 2026 election. Mr. Carr, Dabo and Salah, pillars of change ahead of 2026 election. I mean, let's talk about Khalifa, for example. I just want to single out Khalifa Salah and discuss this. There was a time, I think he hung his boots when in terms of politics. I mean, we've seen him now somehow participating.
Kind of rowing back.
I think Khalifa is a political animal. He will live and die as a politician. I think he never did. Because he have a mission. You understand the doctrine and philosophy of Khalifa. I know him when I was very little because he used to arrange their, chairs when they had programs. He's a man of, of foresight. He's got a lot of political, ideological leaning in terms of empowering the ordinary people. So he is never going to be out of politics. That's not the case. I think what people were confusing is to contest as a presidential candidate. That's different from not being a politician. Those people will live and die as politicians. And politics is really a way of, life. People do say, I don't do politics. You do politics every day.
Should we call it a profession?
It's not necessarily so a profession, but it's just a vocation,
I mean, for some, it's as you said, it's a vocation. I think the thing with Khalifa Salah is that the message he gave, and that's why it was a bit ambiguous, because he didn't say only presidential elections will I not, contest. He kind of seemed to indicate that he was withdrawing from politics. I mean, we're not stupid. We heard what he said at the time, and the way he phrased it made it seem as if he was withdrawing from politics.
Yeah,
that's why we all made the mistake. But he kind of left it a bit ambiguous, and now he can say, well, I never said that if you check what I said. So, yeah, we went back and we checked what he said, and it did leave it sort of, kind of up in the air. But as Malik rightly says, he's very much a political animal, and he's very much Doy's kind of, front face. And he's kind of, when he was in the National Assembly, he was very much the kind of conscience of the Assembly. There were times when he would even correct the Speaker when the Speaker would make mistakes, and I think there's nobody now doing that in the National Assembly, and so he played a very pivotal role. But we want somebody like that who has that broad experience to still be engaged.
Yeah, pillars of Gambian politics.
But pillars of change is what they're saying here. So I'm not sure what they mean by that.
Are you smelling a coalition or something between UDP and Doy?
I don't know. They did it the last time and it didn't work out well. Yeah. That is what fractured the first coalition they had. There was poles apart in terms of the way they see things, and then that was the beginning of the end in terms of their relationship. But in politics, you can never say never. When the dynamics change and they feel there is the need for them to work together, maybe they will explore it. But usually it's the haggling about what needs to be doing, how to do it, Those are the things that really unravels the whole thing, and it ends up, falling apart. But let's see, some people are advocating for that. Maybe if they're interested, they will engage. They are all mature politicians. If the need be, I guess they would.
There's a phrase that politics makes strange bedfellows. So people who you think might never come together when they have a particular goal or interest, they will unite. We've seen it.
There's no permanent friend and permanent enemy.
It's certainly not in politics.
We've seen that. Yeah. Parliament pledges support for families of massacred West African migrants.
I'm assuming they mean the National Assembly.
Yes.
And rightly so. I think we need to give them, you can see, you did talk about it here the last time to the extent of, being very emotional about it, which I understand. I think it ought to be taken seriously. The level of impunity at that time is just not, unconscionable. So we have to engage those people and see that we do what is right for them and for many others, for that matter, who have been, wronged in that era, in that period. That yeah.
Well, Mr. Carr, something surprised me. I mean, when I discussed with the young man from Ghana, I mean, his father is unfortunately among the people that were massacred.
Isaac.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, this happened 20 years ago, and they are claiming they want at least to receive, for these bodies to be exhumed and return to them. Don't you think 20 years, I mean, exhuming a body of 20 years, I mean,
I thought that was done.
No,
that's
only about 8 bodies were returned.
I don't know what's holding that.
Only
it
about
should
8.
be.
I think the others, they've not been able to find where they were, where they were buried. But you say this, I mean, we did a story over the week about Cuba, about the revolution that kicked out Fulgencio Batista. Che Guevara was killed in Bolivia. His body was repatriated 50 years after he was killed. 50. So, 20 years is, it's nothing, really, because for the family, for completeness, for closure, they want the remains. In the case of Che Guevara, it was just the skeleton that was shown. In fact, the box it was put in was only about so big, draped in a flag. And they did a procession through the streets of Havana, Cuba. Fidel Castro gave him a state burial, and that was 50 years after he was killed. So it can.
But here we're talking about a single person, and that might be different from a group of people.
Well, I mean, I mentioned mainly Che, but he wasn't the only one. But he was kind of given prominence. There were 6 other people killed alongside him, and they were all their bodies were repatriated. But yes, you're talking about 40-something odd people. But for the individual families, that it matters to them.
And,
it matters to them.
A feeling of peace and
closure,
and closure, a sense of closure, and so for them, it matters.
Exactly. So Gambians in Mauritania calls for action over harassment.
I think that would be the first primary assignment or engagement of the new foreign minister, because if they are having issues to the extent of feeling that they're being maltreated, I think the state should engage them. I think Senegal and Mauritania once had that, but they were able to resolve it to the extent now there is peace and there is. So I think the Gambia government should act immediately before it gets out of hand, because this type of conflicts can spill into something else, so they should nip the bud now before.
Yeah, I mean, Mauritania does not have a good reputation for the way it treats people who are darker skinned. So this is not the first time we've heard this. It won't be the last time. So this is the first assignment, but it's a major one. But it's such a long-standing and ongoing problem that it would need a complete mindset change by Mauritanians for that to change, and I don't see that happening anytime soon. So sadly, it will continue to happen. Yeah. So what else has grabbed you on the newspaper, sir? Okay,
street children torn from vendors to beggars. I mean, that's the Standards newspaper. The Standards newspaper. We have a lot of them.
What do they mean by street children?
Maybe probably.
We see lots of children on the street
going
begging.
Around, selling.
We've always seen both, so I'm not sure about turning from vendors to beggars. We still see vendors who look like they're 7, 8, 9, 10 years old, and we still see beggars of the same age, and we always have them since I've been here.
We have that issue, but more so in, I don't want to make comparison Senegal than here. I was like appalled in Senegal, but I think they should really the child protection unit and others should intervene. Those kids should be in school. There's a provision in our law that I think at a certain age, school should be a compulsory thing. So that should be enforced. And during school hours, when such kids are roaming the streets, they should be picked, find out what the issues are. If need be, intervene and even find somewhere to keep them in order to make sure that they're properly given a chance or opportunity in life rather than just roaming, you know.
Well, I have not recently, I've been seeing kids going around begging for, begging for charity. I mean, going round. I mean, sometimes when you're walking in the streets, you see kids stopping you and telling you to give them something.
I've encountered that since I came here. I've been here since 2019, and there's never a day when I haven't seen that. So I'm not sure what. I mean, when I went around the country, the place that surprised me was Farafenni. It seemed to have more than its share of children begging in the streets and also children vending, you know, selling all sorts of things. So you had both. So, you know, I'm not sure why this is highlighted now, because I think it's never left us. But it is, as Malik says, something that we need to address, because there are laws.
Yeah, this is a very complicated issue. I mean, I can remember there was a time former President Yahya Jammeh, I mean, stopped all those things in the Gambia. And before you can travel up to Bassa, you wouldn't see any person or any child begging. You understand? So, I mean, the Child Protection Alliance and all those responsible for children's rights, I mean, I think they still have to do more. I mean,
I think the
need not be complicated.
Quite.
It's not big. Gambia is a very small country, and I can bet the number of kids doing that are not many. It's not that substantial.
Mr. Ka, I mean, you might not take it a complicated thing, but it's a very complicated thing, because some of these kids will tell you, I am tasked to bring a certain amount of money by my parents. Not parents sometimes, but by the person who is teaching them.
Oh yeah, we are
I'm talking about the solution, state intervention. They should be able to address that issue. I don't see why
we've
not.
Been talking about it. Child Protection Alliance was here the other time. We talked about it many years ago. I think it's 5 years now. But still, it's still
less talk and more action is what is needed, because the laws are there and they're not being implemented by the people whose job it is to implement these laws. That's why these things carry on. You know, and it's like everything else. You know.
So the Gambia secures $19.9 million to boost rural youth women's resilience.
I think they're trying to address rural-urban migration. So those type of funding will help. I don't know in what sector they want to pump it, whether it's gardening, farming, on other areas, but it seems it's gender-targeted, this particular form. Because you're saying women, I don't know, youth women. So I think they should just do what is equitable and look at the areas of intervention and target it, and also monitor it in order to have long-term results, rather than just the money is there and nothing is happening. And
I mean, you know, you say it's a huge amount of money. It is and it isn't, because it depends on where it's going to go, what is going to be targeted. But if you consider that in terms of remittance, Mr. Balde, Gambians send $1 billion a year, and that hasn't made a dent in this sort of thing, then 19.9 million, I'm sorry, is not going to make a dent. You know, that's how much Gambians remit.
I have some guy whose name is Keba Jata. I don't know, he sent me, said, I have just heard Ade's theory of the origin of summer holidays in the Gambia. I think there is an alternative theory that because of low school enrollment from rural farming communities, summer holidays were introduced to enable kids to go back and help their parents in the farms. This was to encourage school enrollment. I'm in no position to which theory is correct, but I just throw that in there.
Well, so let me throw it in there. There are countries where farming is not the biggest thing. Sierra Leone, Ghana, Nigeria, all of these former British colonies, we all have this school holiday. Trust me, it was so that the Brits could go back Liberia, which is in our region, actually don't have their longest holiday.
So you don't think the farming, it makes sense to some extent as well, to free the labor to help in the farming.
We're farming, of course, matters, but when the Brits introduced it here, and in Nigeria, and in Sierra Leone, and in Ghana, and they didn't care about farming.
So we have two conflicting schools of thoughts. So.
Because what you tended to get in the rural areas was they didn't send their children to school. Essentially, but for those who lived in Lagos, Accra, Freetown, and so on, those people, unlike here in the Gambia, since I've been here, a lot of people in urban areas come from a village. In Sierra Leone, when I was growing up, a Freetonian was a Freetonian. Same in Accra. You had people that was where they born and lived. They had nothing to do with farming. They'd never been to a farm.
Maybe the rains also impeding you going to school. Maybe there are a number of factors that come into play for that. We don't know the calendar.
But honestly, and of course you go even as far apart as India and Pakistan. The Brits wanted to go to England, mainly on holiday.
So they made the school
calendar.
The
school calendar was the same there. It had nothing to do with farming, honestly. Absolutely not, with all due respect.
Deal, yeah, no problem. There are different positions. Go ahead.
So Carton calls for fair play amid dispute over Gunjur Berending boundary demarcation.
I saw this.
So, don't know much about that.
Yeah, I saw it and I was really intrigued by it. And they've even got people there doing what seems to be the demarcation picture on. This is on front of Foroya newspaper. I don't know what they mean by calls for fair play, because I don't know. Are they encroaching? Like as if it's a border with another country. Folks, we're all in the Gambia, so chill.
Absolutely. Work it out. The issue of land is so contentious. Because people make a lot out of it these days, so they tend to protect and fight. But I think they should come to a resolution peacefully. Land is, it's a highly contentious issue. So they should come with legal frameworks to address all these things. It's a challenge. That's never going to be easy. It will be difficult, but that's what governments are for, to solve difficult problems.
Quite. If you look at old maps of the Gambia, all these places are clearly demarcated. I've got several copies of these old maps, and they're very, very clearly demarcated. So I'm not sure why now it should be a problem where we have even digital methods of actually kind of demarcating this spot and that.
It's all about ownership and selling.
Well, that's right. But I'm really intrigued by this story, and I'll try and find out some more.
So the Gambia government launches youth rice production scheme to reduce imports.
Yeah. We've got to go a long way to do that, but it's a good idea.
It's a good initiative.
Let's hope it can be sustainable, because really for our staple food, it's I don't know how many countries could say their staple food is mainly imported. It's quite an extraordinary situation. The more we can produce and consume, and the less we have to import, the better. But you do wonder whether some of the people who benefit from importation are among our lawmakers, because I don't know why we don't put more resources into
It's very capital intensive farming, especially if you want to do it at scale.
At the scale.
But who is in a better position than the youth, who have the energy, but they have to be prepared as well, because agriculture have changed. It's very scientific now. You have to create institutions of agriculture, educate, enlighten the people. They can realize profits out of it. It's not just going to be chores where you walk from sunrise to sunset and do not realize anything out of it. They must transform it into an economic activity, make them entrepreneurs, make them farmers, give them the equipment. I think if they do that, that will be the right trajectory to the realization of food sovereignty and self-sufficiency.
And Malik's made a very good point there about it being scientific. I'm actually working with the Ministry of Agriculture on a project where there are only over 3,000 theses and dissertations about agriculture in the Gambia, but they've never been digitized. So if somebody wanted to study, you have to go to where they are and physically look through them. And they're now in the process of digitizing that so that people can do research.
A variety of seeds and all these things.
All of these types of things.
Well, I think now farming have advanced to a level whereby now you don't need to struggle a lot. All that you need is the right tools, you know, the right mechanism to be able to implement certain things. Yesterday I was at home, and when a friend visited, he was like, look at this orange tree. I mean, it's looking good. And I was like, this is it's a grafted orange tree,
right,
where they used a lime stem,
right,
you know, grafted with oranges.
Okay.
And I'll tell you that orange, it produces orange all year round.
Okay.
You know, every time when you go, you can meet orange. So there are a lot of innovations now when it comes to farming. And, you know, farming, when we talk about it, all we think about probably it's rice farming. You know, there are different things that you can do and you can support when it comes to that area.
No, we don't just think about rice farming. We think about, I mean, we're talking about a story that is to do with rice farm, you know, but we talk about, you know, vegetables and
animal husbandry.
Animal husbandry.
A lot of things.
A lot of things. But, you know, we need to kind of upscale, because even we talk about animal husbandry, you know, when it's time for some feast or other, we have all these animals being imported from you know, Mauritania and from Senegal. And
planning should be now.
This is the right time.
And yeah, you know.
It's the right time.
But I think they have intervention or measures or programs, giraffe and all these things.
Well,
I
was going to come to it. We just carried a story where Gajaga went to visit this place where they do cashew. You know, and you know the tonnage that they've done, that they used to do for you know 1 month, they now do in a day.
I saw that
because of the equipment that they've been given through this giraffe project, and it's a really it's really been very beneficial.
Commendable, actually.
Yeah, and absolutely, it's a 7-year, $108 million project, and you know, it's making quite a difference.
Exactly. So finally, I mean, Barrow Hills lead Buhari for Gambia's democratic dispensation.
Absolutely.
Yeah, we saw him go to offer his condolences to the family in the state of Daura, and he also paid a courtesy call on Bola Tinubu, the president. But he also went to the graveside, the president, first lady, and Amat Nkeba.
Is it Borno or Durno?
No, Daura state. Daura is the town, Daura, and Katsina state. And yeah, you know, people were talking about the fact, and you know, even when he went to the family house, the eldest son, Yusuf, thanked the president and said, you know, we really appreciate you coming here, because it shows that my father, you know, had an impact beyond his own borders. And of course, famously, we remember when he said, if Jammeh wants to take on the whole of West Africa, then he's welcome to try. You know, because he was very forceful.
Very resolute.
When we had the political impasse.
That's Buhari.
Buhari said that. Buhari
you
said
can
that.
see he was here constantly coming in and going. So he took it very seriously at the time. So and Gambians remember that. And the fact that the president did go on behalf of the Gambian people, that is highly commendable. We respect that. Buhari was a very distinguished personality. I mean, he had that simplicity of aura and the modesty, and that's visible in him. As soon as you see him, that is what you see in the gentleman. And even when he doesn't talk much, but he was very firm. He had a military background over decades and decades. So he comes across as cool and calm, but they are very much, you know, very firm in their principles.
And even his determination to be, I mean, he twice tried, and it was on the third attempt that he became president.
Exactly. So
and he unseated Goodluck Jonathan.
We've exhausted this time already. And thank you very much, Mr. Ka, for reviewing the papers with us. And Mr. Ade, at this point, we'll take a short break. After the break, then the program continues. We'll be right back.
And Orange Money has just made money transfer easier. Now you can send money from Gambia to Senegal directly from your Q Money wallet. So what are you waiting for? Get your Q Money account now and start sending money to your friends and families through Orange Money in Senegal now. For more information, call our customer care on 133. Q Money, Sunu Kalpe. Terms and conditions apply.
Welcome to IHT Gambia, your gateway to world-class IT education and hands-on training. At IHT, choose from diploma programs tailored to today's in-demand tech fields, introduction to IT, database administration with data analytics, advanced software development, cybersecurity, multimedia, graphic design and digital marketing. AI and machine learning, Cisco Certified Network Associate, CCNA, Master Industry Leading Tools and Languages, Python, Java, Oracle, Cisco, Microsoft Visual Studio, and more to gain real-world skills that top employers seek. And right now, enjoy special discounts of $4,000 to $10,000, depending on your chosen program. Visit us at 55 Karoba Avenue, Fejora, Kenefin Municipality. Call 346461 4526974 6311320 or learn more at ihtgambia.gm. IHT Gambia, connecting talent to opportunity.
Mitoma. First time cross, really threatening, and it's dropped for Minte, rifled in! Out.
Did you know you can buy cash power using QMoney Wallet absolutely free up to $30,000? Use our app or dial 323 hash and select Q Power. Choose Register Meter. Enter your meter number. Dial *323 hash and follow these simple steps. Number 1, select option 3 for Q Power. Number 2, choose option 1 to buy any amount of Q Power. Enjoy free QCell airtime every time you cash in to purchase Q Power. For any inquiries, call 133. Q Money, Sunyu Kalben.
Yes, we are back. You are watching QTV this morning. I am Ibrahim Abalde. Thank you very much for always willing, to follow this program. Ms. Adi?
And one of the people who is following the program, Keba Jata, who sent a very good contribution in terms of the school holiday. Keep on watching, and we really do appreciate when people interact with us and send in their suggestions and their comments. So if you have our details, please follow Keba's example and send in your comments and your questions.
Exactly. So we move to the third segment, or this is the second segment of this program. We have Mr. Usman Bojang, Director of Trade, Ministry of Trade, and we'll be talking about the progress of the Africa Continental Free Trade Agreement implementation in the Gambia. So it's good to have you here, Mr. Bojang.
I'm good to be here.
Yes.
Thank you for the invitation.
Yes.
I think this is my second or third time.
Oh, okay. So you are a regular guest on this program. Okay, so let's talk about the progress we made as far as the Africa Continental Free Trade is concerned in the Gambia.
Thank you. As you might know, the ministry is the one responsible for coordinating Gambia's participation in the AFCFTA since from the beginning. We've been coordinating the negotiation, our participation in the negotiation, and the preparatory work that at the national level we've been doing to help our businesses participate in the agreement. So these are in different folds. We have the AFCFTA is a trade agreement, which is even beyond trade, because you look at also investment, intellectual properties, and others. So it's a transformative project of the African Union. It has we started the negotiations way back 2016, and the negotiations are in different phases because we are looking at different associated protocol to the agreement. Sure. The agreement was actually signed in March 2018 in Kigali, and Gambia signed in the agreement way back. We ratified the agreement.
Did we sign in 2019 or 2018?
We ratified in 2019.
In 2019,
yes.
And we became the 22nd.
The 22nd nation
right.
to ratify and then submit their instrument of ratification to the Secretariat.
and actually we met we fulfilled the coming into force of the agreement, being the 22nd member state to ratify. Yeah, so the agreement has different protocols. It has a protocol on trading goods. So here we are looking at cross-border trade beyond within the African continent of tangible products, where we are looking at how do we discipline our tariff, how do we liberalize tariff, so that we can be able to move goods between borders. We are looking at a tariff liberalization of 90% of all the tariff of African member countries at the first go. So we agree on a modality of tariff liberalization, which is 90%. Then we have sensitive list of products that are going to be liberalized, but at a later date.
Do we know what some of those are?
Some of those products, we've identified about 5% of our tariff lines. So we look at some products that have huge revenue stream for the government, and also products that, for example, that perhaps you need to protect for your economy, to protect local industries. We are also looking at trading services, because the protocol is also looking at how do we liberalize the service sector. For example, business services, communication services, banking, tourism. These are all service sectors, service industries that the agreement is there to support. We also look at dispute settlement mechanism. It's one of the protocols. So it has that protocol where when there are trade disputes, how do we channel this and then discuss these issues.
So there's a kind of arbitration
mechanism, which is going to be based in Accra, because the AFCFTA Secretariat itself is in Accra. So those are the protocols, phase 1 protocols. So then we have the phase 2. But the phase 1 protocol, most of the negotiations have now been completed. For tariff, we have already prepared the schedule and then gazette our tariff for liberalization. You know, trade agreements come with rules of origin. So those are the few pending issues under the trading goods, even though we've achieved about 95 or 92% of the rules of origin concluded. So we are left with only textile and automotive industries. The certificates are ready. So at the national level, we've already appointed a competent national authority for issuing of the certificate of origin.
Yeah, which sectors have been prioritized the most?
Apparently, we developed a national strategy for the implementation of the AFCFTA. We are supported by UNECA to have this strategy. Most of the countries, they have to have a strategy, because if you have to know what to do, how to maneuver on this agreement. So the strategy identifies a few areas. Agriculture apparently is one of the areas that we have.
So UNECA, United Nations Economic Commission for Africa.
Yes. They've supported us to develop this strategy. So we look at agriculture, we look at fisheries products, fisheries and fisheries resources. We also look at some of the, for example, in the services, telecommunication, banking. These are the service priority areas for us. Light manufacturing, like light industries. These are also product priority areas based on the strategy. So currently, we have a national implementation committee that sits over looking at the strategic actions and how do we deploy them in terms of implementation. So for Gambia, the agreement is ready. We have the rules of origin, competent authority for issuing of rules of origin. We have the specimen signatures. So GCCI is the competent authority for issuing of rules of origin. The specimen signatures from GCCI and also from GRA are all been finalized. Our tariff schedule is gazetted. So we are kind of ready to actually start a consignment on the AFCFTA.
Okay.
Some countries have already started some trading on the AFCFTA, but we've observed that most of the countries that have already started are from East Africa and Southern Africa.
Right.
So we saw some statistics about 5,000 consignments so far that have been issued on the rules of origin on the AFCFTA, but mainly from those countries.
So we had His Excellency Wamkele Mene,
yes,
Secretary General of AFCFTA, come, visited the President, he met you guys.
Yes.
So what were the discussions? Was it about just updating him about things? But what went down?
Yeah, I think that was a very good mission for us. It's a technical discussion because the start of trading under the agreement was way back 1st of January 2021. That's the indicative date for the start of trading. Some countries have already started doing something. Right. So he goes to countries, pay visit, talk to the executives, brief them about the progress being made at the level of the Secretariat and how they can support member countries to be able to, effectively start trading.
So how near or far is the Gambia from, you've talked about countries in Eastern and Southern Africa that are already using the agreement to trade. How near or far is the Gambia from joining that list?
The Gambia is very near joining that. There was a scheme called Guided Trade Initiative under the AFCFTA, because what happened is since the start of trading in 2021, there was not much tangible trade happening.
Right.
So they came with an initiative called Guided Trade Initiative, where they identify trading company in each of the member countries, and they try to, the Secretariat try to link you with another company in another region. And then walk through the documentation to help you with the documentation. So Gambia at some point, because we've ratified the tariff and then we gazetted it, we saw interest in working with the Secretary to actually start trading under the agreement. So the Secretary is very supportive of that, and so for us, any business or entrepreneur or any company that is interested in any of the markets where within Africa, we are ready to support. So we've identified some major businesses that potentially can able to export, and we are engaging with them, trying to build up the sensitization, capacity building, so that they understand the processes and the procedures. We are also working through GAIPA to try to see if we can also link them with some of the businesses within the African.
So are Gambian businesses aware of the opportunities?
Yes, I think since we've ratified the agreement, we had a sensitization roadmap or plan, a communication plan for that matter, where we roll out a number of sensitization programs on the AFCFTA, targeting some small entrepreneurs, big businesses. But the coming of the Secretary General was an opportunity for us to try and bring the big players.
Yeah, we saw that.
Yes, that's what we did, so that they can hear it from the horse's mouth on the program, the progress that is being made by the Secretariat, and what programs are within the Secretariat purview that they can benefit from. So it shows a lot of discussions and interactions, and we saw some interest in some of the businesses that are...
Has there been any skepticism around the fact that in the ECOWAS region, we hear all this fancy talk about free movement of goods and people, and we've not been able to make that a reality. I mean, you try and move as an individual, it's a nightmare. So even in our little sub-region, not so little, I know, it hasn't been easy. But have you faced any skepticism from business saying that, look, we're struggling to do this even here, much less do it with the rest of the Continental? Have you had those sorts of questions to deal with?
Of course, yes. That is, those questions, they come time to time through our interaction with the businesses, and you can see that they are right, because we had an ECOWAS free trade scheme called the ETLS over the years. But the actual tangible benefits are not derived from that because of the non-tariff barriers across. So the classical example some would bring is that Gambia is almost surrounded by Senegal, and most of our exports they go through the border. So you can even with the AFCFTA, you cannot just trade with Bissau, with the neighbor without going through Senegal. But if you have a problem with the ETLS in Senegal, how do you think this will work? But the response is that we don't have to relent our engagement with Senegal, and we have to do this through negotiations. Because trade is through negotiations, consultations, and negotiations until you get your way out. So for Senegal, we have a very good system of engagement. At the political level, you have the Presidential Council. We just signed a trade and transit cooperation agreement with them. So we have a technical committee that is talking to them on daily basis. We meet every 6 months to discuss some of the trade challenges. So those things are bound to come, but we as a country, we have to continue our engagement with the neighboring countries and build up the sensitization so that we can buy into this idea of free movement of goods and services. But one advantage the AFCFTA had is the dispute settlement mechanism. And also what we call the NTB reporting mechanism. So they have a tool where businesses can report their experience at the border online. Yeah, directly. So once you have something like, once you observe an NTB, which is called non-tariff measure, you can go online and then report this case. And every member state of the African Union will see this as a case. And then we will try to see how. So no country want to see your name being published that you are imposing an MTP and a non-tariff barrier. The first case that has been reported under that platform was reported by the Gambia, and of course, on a problem that they experience, passing their products. So that is one tool that we're trying to build, sensitize the businesses, so that because that should be used by the operators themselves. The other avenue is the dispute settlement mechanism. Well, we are yet to be there, but that is also something that can help once you observe non-compliance to the agreement. You can easily, channel your case through government to that using that mechanism.
Thank you, Mr. Bojang. You've exhausted this time
and you've educated us.
Yes, so thank you very much. We wish you all the best of luck.
Thank you.
We're looking forward to the full implementation of these, protocols to make sure, it benefits each and every person. Because sometimes flying to these countries can be a nightmare, especially if you're a businessman.
Exactly.
So we hope soon there will be solution.
Hopefully.
Yeah, so viewers will take a short break, and after the break, the program continues. We'll be back.
Okay.
My name is Nuruddin Adams, a proud product of this noble institution. Heritage Christian University is not just a learning place, but a community that transforms lives and empowers its students to become compassionate entrepreneurial leaders. My journey here has truly been life-changing, and I invite you to come experience the same. Whether your passion is into business, nursing, midwifery, psychology, communication studies, multimedia technology, information technology, or theology and ministry, Heritage has tailored these programs for both the undergraduate and graduate studies to suit your goal. If you're ever ready to take your education to the next level, then pick up an application form and join us today. At Heritage, you are never alone, as members of the community will stand and work with you every step of the way. Welcome to Heritage Christian University.
Do your banking the smart way with the new Aji Bank mobile app. Transfer money to any bank account in the Gambia. Top up airtime for all networks. Pay utility bills. Check your account balance and view mini statements. Request for ATM cards. Request for checkbooks and more in a single touch. So, do your banking in a smart way. Do your banking now with Aji Bank mobile app. Every time is banking time. Aji Bank, your investment partner.
back. You're watching QTV this morning. I am Ibrahim Abalde. Now let's head to the third segment of this program. And we'll be talking about World Hepatitis Day, which is very important for us to discuss. I mean, we need to get an insight of what these things are, how to prevent it, and, you know, some of the things that are involved when you happen to take the risk. Now we have Lamin Sambu. Is it Lamin Sambu?
Yes.
Yes, Program Officer, National Hepatitis Control Program, Ministry of Health. We were supposed to have Malik D.M. Mane.
But we don't.
Yes,
well, the viewers didn't know that until you told them.
Malik is not in. I want him to tell me. I want him to tell me why is Malik not in.
The viewers had no idea, but you just told them. Okay.
So it's good to have you here, Mr. Sambo.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
So please, let's talk about this day. We want to understand what this is.
Yes, I mean, before we talk about the day, what is hepatitis?
Exactly.
Okay, really, let's start there.
Yeah. So we need to have an understanding.
Yes.
Right. Thank you so much. Good morning, viewers. Like they highlighted, from the National Hepatitis Control Program. So hepatitis is an infection, basically is the inflammation of the liver. So this is caused by different viruses, hepatitis viruses from A to E. But then in the Gambia, the most common form of hepatitis that we have is hepatitis B and hepatitis C.
Okay.
And then today's activity is geared towards commemorating the World Hepatitis Day, which is done annually every 28 July to remind the world that hepatitis still exists. Yeah. And then it is one of the most infectious diseases globally. Yes.
And how does one contract it?
Okay, so hepatitis B, first of all, is caused by a virus. So, and then one of the ways that it can be that you can get it as an individual is through blood contact.
Yeah.
So blood contact, but then the most common route of transmission is from an infected mother who was pregnant and during delivery passes the virus to the child. So in the Gambia and even globally, that is the most common route of transmission. There are other routes of transmission, you know, where let's say through sexual activities, you know, especially without using condoms, or through circumcision, or even sharing nail clippers, you know, or even barbing salons, you know, pedicure and manicure procedures.
Okay.
Yeah, or even sometimes sharing toothbrush. Is, you know, the virus can be transmitted.
Oh, we still do that.
But the reason I wanted that point clarified actually is from a very personal viewpoint, because when my son was born, they had misdiagnosed that my then wife Zainab had hepatitis, and so my son was isolated for a couple of days. And then they came and told us they'd made a mistake. This was in London.
Oh, you didn't sue them?
Well, I should have. But, you know, they had said that, you know, because the mother they thought had it, then they thought there was a possibility that she had, you know, passed it on to the newborn baby. But in the end, it turned out to be a mistake, and they'd actually completely misdiagnosed. So, you know, as parent, of course, you're worried. But then, you know, 2 days later, that worry was taken away from us. But so when you mentioned about mainly mothers passing it on to, that sort of resonated with me, certainly.
Yeah.
So we want to know which type is the most common
B and C
in the Gambia?
Okay, in the Gambia, hepatitis B is the most common. And then the reason why we said it's the most common, if you look at the prevalence, that is the number of people who are living with the virus, currently it's about 10% of the population. So the current population from GIVOS is that 2.4 million. We have 2.4 million people living in the country. So if 10% of that population is infected with the virus, it means over 200,000 people may be living with the virus. So, and then for hepatitis C, it is less than 3%, which is less than 100,000. So this is why even at global stage, hepatitis B is the most infectious and the most common.
Okay.
And then the worrying thing about hepatitis B is that there's no cure. There's a treatment.
Okay.
That means once you get the virus, you will live with it until you die.
That's B.
That's B.
Okay.
There's no treatment. Sorry, there's no cure, but there's a treatment.
What about C?
For C, there's a cure. Unfortunately, in the Gambia, we don't have the the capacity to treat hepatitis C. What the capacity that we have is to test to know that you have the virus. But then, if you want to look at the viral DNA, you have to go all the way to Senegal to do it. And then the treatment as well, we don't have it. Yes.
Is there a national plan or a policy to help fight hepatitis?
Yes, so this year, the National Hepatitis Control Program actually was established in 2022. But then due to challenges, the program was not supplied with staff until last year, February. Okay. So when we came in, it's a 5-man team, a very small team. The first thing that we did was to try to get a strategic plan. And this was funded by the WHO. We did this, the review of the strategic plan and the policy early this year in Tendaba. So at this stage, we have a strategic plan and a policy, but they are still at the draft stage because we are to do the validation. So these 2 documents are going to guide us because WHO is saying that we have to eliminate hepatitis by 2030. So these 2 documents are going to tell us what exactly we need to do to achieve what before 2030.
So for the day, normally there's a theme.
Yes.
What is the theme this year?
Okay. So this year's theme is hepatitis. Let's break it down.
Okay.
So what that means is hepatitis, globally, those that are infected are highly stigmatized. And then the most unfortunate thing is that awareness is very low in the general population. But surprisingly, it's even lower when it comes to healthcare workers. Most people will know, yes, it's hepatitis is caused by a virus, but then the misconceptions are very, very high. An example is some will think that hepatitis can be transmitted through sweat. Let's say when you sweat, I sweat, you come in contact. But no, the virus only exists in blood and blood products. So, and then even in the Gambia, myself personally, before I joined the program, I didn't know much about the virus. Until when I joined, I started reading, I had some trainings, and then, my capacity was up. But there are a lot of misconceptions. One of them is that aflatoxin causes hepatitis B, which is actually completely different. You see, aflatoxin is a toxin produced by a fungus that is usually found in, let's say, groundnut, in cashew, in maize. So aflatoxin usually, it can damage the liver, but it does not cause hepatitis. Because hepatitis B is caused by the hepatitis B virus.
So in terms of the communication, how are you getting the message out to the rest of the country, particularly those areas where they don't speak or understand English, and that part of the population? We talk about 240,000 people potentially. That's quite a lot of people, and of course not all of them will speak or understand English. So how are you reaching out? It's a 5-person team. That's quite small, so your work must be quite, quite considerable. But in terms of communication, because we're all into communication, and these are the things that we always worry about and wonder about.
Yeah, actually, for now, we are not doing much of community engagement. So what we are doing as a program, because when we came in, we came in around February when the government budget has already passed. So we had no, our program has no budget support. So what we did was to integrate as much as possible, because the hepatitis program was a focal point under the National AIDS Control Program. So what we did was to integrate with them to ensure that all the pregnant women are screened for hepatitis B. Usually when a woman is pregnant, they are screened for 3 diseases: HIV, syphilis, and hepatitis B.
We don't screen for sickle cell here?
Yeah, we do.
Okay,
sickle cell is a condition, it's not a disease.
Right.
Exactly.
Okay,
so, in this integration, we ensure that whenever women come for their first antenatal booking, they are sensitized on hepatitis B. You realize that just recently we were on a monitoring visit. We realized that about 2% of pregnant women that we are screened were positive for hepatitis B. And the absolute numbers are 20,000 women were screened, and over 432 of them were positive for hepatitis B. And this was just across 64 facilities. So if we should screen all the pregnant women in the Gambia, it's possible that we have over 1,000 of them that are positive. So this is why we, during their screening services, they are cancelled on hepatitis B. So at least they have some capacity. So we were also able to train some few healthcare workers, about 300 of them, and then these people were trained on hepatitis B management because there is a treatment for women that are positive. We have a prophylaxis for them. So the prophylaxis, what it does is to to suppress the viral load, so that infection, the risk of infection reduces during delivery. Yeah. So, but then other than that, we have not done much because, you know, like I said, we are grateful, you know, with you know.
Yeah. So we want to know, what are the signs and symptoms?
Okay. So for new infections, usually there's no signs and symptoms. You won't even know. It's just like HIV, very similar to HIV. So usually when the signs and symptoms appear, it is when you are already at the disease stage. So when you get the virus newly, it may be like you have malaria, because, you know, the malaria pathogen also attacks the liver.
Yeah, go ahead.
So hepatitis B virus also attacks the liver. So you may have maybe fever or certain things, and then someday it will go away. So the virus will be in your body, multiplying in your DNA until you become sick. So when you become sick now, it is now either, you know, maybe your liver has fibrosis or cirrhosis. That's when you start experiencing signs and symptoms like jaundice, that is the yellowing of the eyes, you know, maybe swollen limbs, and then maybe a swollen, you know, abdomen. So, but at this time, at this stage, usually you are at the disease stage, and this is where, you know, most people die. Yeah.
Wow, interesting. So, are there vaccines available? And if there are, who should get the vaccine? Who should be prioritized?
Okay, so vaccines are available, but then they are for new, you know, infants, those that are under 5. That is the current policy we have. So we have the hepatitis B vaccine that is usually given as a bad dose. Immediately a baby is delivered, within 24 hours, he or she should receive that vaccine, regardless of the mother's status. In fact, for mothers that are positive, the best thing is the earlier the delivery happens, the vaccine should be administered. So then the vaccine is not available to the general public because the ones funding the vaccine, Gavi, said they cannot, you know, provide vaccine for adults. So for adults, the best preventive strategy is to get tested at least once every year, or at least twice every year. In fact, today is a big opportunity for anybody to go to any health facility and then get tested to know your status. Because once you know, if you know it earlier, you start a treatment, the viral load will be suppressed, and then you can live a healthy, you know, quality life, compared to just wait until when you are already sick. Yes.
Thank you very much, Lamin Sambu, for coming on the program, and we hope and pray. I mean, many people will go get tested to know their status. You know, thank you. And keep doing those TikTok videos for us. You know, keep educating us. When I scroll sometimes,
I think you better tell the viewers, because we spoke about this off air.
Yes, I normally watch your videos, so it's important. I'll also follow your page as well for me to be updated all the time.
So Lamin does some educational videos on TikTok.
On TikTok. And your TikTok page is called Lamin Samu?
Yeah, Lamin Samu Health Promote. Lamin Samu _ health promotion.
Health promotion.
Yes.
So you will be able to learn a lot of things when it comes to health. Very significant. I like the one you did on boxes, underwear. Make sure you clean the underwear properly before you wear them.
Yes.
In fact, soak them in hot water.
Exactly. And then you dry them in the sun.
Yes.
Or you use, you know, iron, and then iron them very well, so that, you know, bacteria will go up.
You know, I don't even iron them. I didn't even know I should iron my underwear.
Now you know.
Now I know, man.
But before you go, is any final word that you'd like to give to the viewers, particularly on this day, commemoration of this day?
Yes.
Yes.
So my final words will be to encourage women. Immediately you recognize that you are pregnant, ensure that you go to the hospital and book your ANC as soon as possible. Well, that way, during the booking, they will screen you for these, you know, diseases, because HIV, syphilis, and hepatitis B can be transmitted. For syphilis and HIV, is even during pregnancy they can be transmitted. For hepatitis B, that one is for during delivery. So when you are screened on time, they will know whether you have the diseases or not, and then you'll be able to protect your child. And then also ensure that once you deliver, remind the health workers to vaccinate your child 24 hours before you leave, within 24 hours. For example, if you deliver at 10 o'clock this morning, before 10 o'clock the following day, you should receive the vaccine. Because even a minute after that puts your baby at a very high risk. And we are also encouraging the general population to get tested at least twice or once every year, so that they will know their status for these 3, you know, infections, because these are very, very serious, you know, serious infections. And then if you are going for barbing, to barbing salons, we have to talk to our barbers to ensure that they sterilize their machines, because even the smallest cut if the person is infected, it's very easy for the for you to get infected as well. So I think this is what I want to say.
Thank you. And those people who go around clipping nails.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, clipping nails. Like sharing those things. Sharing toothbrush. Because sometimes when you have hepatitis, you may have some open sores in your mouth ulcer. So when you are infected, that can be easily transmitted to the toothbrush, and then viruses can live outside of the body for sometimes very long time. So it's not like bacteria which may not live long, but viruses, they can live over even 1,000 days. They will not die. So let's try to ensure that we protect ourselves, especially blood products, and then blood safety is very important. Yes.
Thank you very much. Yeah, so viewers, we'll take a short break. After the break, then the QCell team will be here, and we'll be talking about the recently the recent promotions that you've been seeing, the Sunday free calls, and of course, the Summer Data Plus. As you know, QCell is making innovation accessible to each and every person. So we'll be right back after the break.
At Ajib Bank, we are more than banking. We build bridges that connect you to pivotal services every day. Do you have government bills to pay to the Gambia Revenue Authority, Comfort, KMC, or the Accountant General's Department? We've got you covered. From payment of customs and domestic taxes to GRA, payment of number plate and vehicle ownership transfer to Comfort, payment of property rates and business license fee to KMC, and payment of MR passport, business registration, fishing license, land fees, sale of assets, lease application, development permits, quarrying royalties, gravel and sand, mining royalties, and a host of other revenue lines to the Accountant General's Department. Walk into any of our branches nationwide and make your payments hassle-free. Either in person or online. Simple, secure, and immediate. With Ajib Bank, there is no need to worry about government bill payments for your vehicles, taxes, licenses, business registration, and any other revenue line. Ajib Bank, passionate about your investment. We've got you covered. Ajib Bank, your investment partner.
QCell, the fastest growing network in the Gambia, now presents to you the eSIM. QCell's eSIM allows you to electronically scan a code and join the world of digital SIM cards. Customers with physical SIMs can easily switch to the eSIM as well. So rush now and get connected with an eSIM and start using the latest mobile technology with your trusted GSM operator. For more information, call our customer care on 111. QCell, Sinubus. We innovate, others follow. Terms and conditions apply.
Q Money and Orange Money has just made money transfer easier. Now you can send money from Gambia to Senegal directly from your Q Money wallet. So what are you waiting for? Get your Q Money account now and start sending money to your friends and families through Orange Money in Senegal now. For more information, call our customer care on 133. Q Money, Sunu Kalpe. Terms and conditions apply.
We are back. You're watching QTV this morning. I am Ibrahim Abalde. Now let's head to the last segment of this program. And the QCell team is already in the studios. We have Buba Seidi Khan, QCell Marketing Supervisor, Momodu Bari, Sales Supervisor, QCell. And, no need for us to introduce what we want to talk about. I mean, we're talking about the QCell Summer Data Plus, and of course, the free Sunday call.
Some people talked until their phones ran out.
In fact, a relative of mine who've not called me for a year, yesterday he called me. And I was like, wait, what happened? And then I recalled it was the free call. That guy, yeah, so gentlemen, it's good to have you here. And Buba, how are you?
Yeah, fine, thanks, Balde.
Yes.
I guess every Gambian had a very good weekend this weekend.
Absolutely.
When it comes to data, it's more cheaper than ever. And when it comes to call, I mean, everybody's talking about it, basically, throughout the country, not just here, all over. Sunday free call is, it's the conversation of the day.
It's amazing. I mean, QCell, you made our Sunday, worth being Sundays, you understand? You know, we enjoyed the free calls and, of course, the data, cheap data. But
affordable data.
Affordable.
Yeah, correct.
It was nice. Thanks to QCell and QCell management, as we already know, it's our month, July 2009, we were born. And then giving back to the community, giving back to our customers, esteemed customers that we roll the red carpet for all the time. This time, we give them free calls on Sunday. Like I told you, team bi rek la woon en bi ñëwagul. Bi en bi ñëwee diis na. Wow. Yes. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for being there for QCell for the past 16 years. We anticipating another 2,000 years ahead.
We are here to stay.
We are to stay. We want our great-great-grandchildren to take over this company. So that's the...
It's Sunyu Boss for a reason.
For a reason. Sunyu Boss forever, Sunyu Boss for a reason. We are here to stay. Yes.
Exactly. So, I mean, Buba, I mean, our viewers are asking, is this going to continue?
I mean, if QCell is continuing, this is going to continue because if you could remember, maybe your generation, I was too young back then, but 2009, QCell has something similar to this.
Free
back
calls.
then, back then, when you recharge 25, we give you Saturday. When you recharge 50, we give you Saturday and Sunday. So as a way of remembering where we started, we said, okay, let's give them something similar but better. So we came up with free Sundays.
Yes,
you don't need to recharge, you don't need to pay anything. Even like you said on the Saturday program, even you're having a current e-Fankanda loan, you can still enjoy this. And a lot of people were in doubt, like, Bali di Denaba, hey, by network we do congest. And we always said, QCell, we are very conscious when it comes to quality. We made sure that this is going to not affect any customer, existing customer. Either I'm part of the Sunday calls or not. I have my regular business that I go about. Is it free? Is it not free? I don't mind. I have important calls I have to make. So we thought of those people as well. We didn't want to affect them in any way with these Sunday calls. So, and those people also were in bit of a doubt, be like, by network we do congest daily amna. QCell, with QCell, you are rest assured that quality has always been our strength from the start, from 2009 to 2025. And whatever we do, we make sure there's quality in it. So these calls went throughout the day. From some people started at midnight. That was Sunday midnight. Some people started calling. I was sitting with someone who told me that I'm going to charge my phone. That was around 9 p.m. I was like, why? He said, midnight.
I'm getting ready.
Yeah, I'm getting ready, midnight. It's like, what's happening at midnight? Because I totally forgot.
1 minute past midnight.
Yeah. It was like, no, call Kadati midnight, like suit or midnight. I was like, wait, but for someone that is still says no. I would start using it at midnight. So this was really a big surprise to Gambians because it has never been done here. Gambia has been in existence for what, 60 years plus, and QCell found 3 GSM operators that were currently here before we came, and none of them ever dared to do such. We came, we found they were established already, and when we came, a lot of people doubted us. Even some Gambians doubted if QCell can like penetrate the market, can QCell do anything, because you found big giants that were already there, and we came, we proved everybody wrong.
Absolutely.
And 16 years on, we are stronger. So this is like if a kid comes into a family compound, and now you have the authority in the compound. Now we are leading, and now they follow. It's like so. It might be difficult for some people to accept that QCell came just 2009 and they're doing all this.
But that's the reality.
That's the reality.
And that's the reality.
That's the reality. We are the ones that have Gambians at heart. You understand?
That's true.
And non-Gambians as well. We all understand as far as you live in this country, and you are using the QCell line.
Yes.
I mean, you need to benefit from quality services.
The number 3 and the number 5 is the lucky number for Gambia. The existence of QCell and Q Group, it is paramount important to the people of the Gambia. We have break so many barriers. We have put so many milestones. Initially, we thought it's only foreigners who can have such a company, such an investment in this country. But lucky us. Yes, we have.
So can I appeal on behalf of some of our viewers who don't speak or understand English? I know we always make this appeal. Because I spoke to somebody yesterday in Janjambure, and I had to say to him, please call me, because he was a bit worried. And I said, no, call me. I said, and if you see that you're charged, I will refund you.
Yes.
And it's only then that he called again, because he was gonna, you know, so we need to reassure people, but if we can do so.
So you got friends up to Janjambure. Now you know this country.
I got friends everywhere.
If I bull them.
How dare you? Family plenty. So yeah.
Yes, I will let Buba do that in Madrid.
Yes, with the reassurance, I mean, QCell covering Moleko Sunday free calls. And the free, we emphasize on the free. Now make sure the free nyimba
no subscription.
No subscription. They charge the fenna, imansula credit cola. Hani don't robe bulu. It's free for you. Because be alona ko QCell malam be malom but mo jamali alona 2009 sangola QCell that is operational in July. So in July karo min kono sante. QCell bela wulu karola juraka so ngom fay kon samila keno na client le milan ko ye mol mutakabre num folo fo bi samila keno pour na contande pour alia fanje ni neto ko kono because atata nata QCell alata kola atol client le without atol client QCell satara jambi without atol client to tata sirinya nalba diamol so nka promotion gen ka service ke ninkale ko free lem mbukal koto kukeje wala na client from na adversal everything ka fale ko no subscription no hidden charges obeta nata pour that guarantee that it's absolutely free. And when we say free, we mean it's free, because yalan ku dolbe je tuwawol ka fa is too good to be true. So namira ñun Sunday free calls anata ni wala people didn't expect a GSM as big as QCell will just open their network to everyone and be like I'll free call to any QCell line across the country, because dol meta jane nana make. So you now see QCell still now ni NGB we are still young, we are relatively young, but
ali kelo banne kelo ñum bantale mu ngi melni bari wax bi yeb nopi na legi
xam nga jiit tuuti na waaye bari na dangar
waaw dëgg la de te nu metti ji dafa metti
li am solo ma ñu door waaye kanay mujj ak kanay nekk ci kanam des na ci daw bi rek
waaw
ku la dig añ jox la ndéewu bu la ne xaada reer
xamal ne kooku noonu foog mu jox la
olof daf dee wax ne diw baax na ndax mbokkaam yaa ko wax ndax diw baax na ndax balde banna baax na ndax mbokkaam mi wax nañ ko
mun nañoo ne baax naa fi waaye soo demee kër bi baaxuma
thank you waaye su ko mbokkay waxee bi réew bi mu nekk di ko wax
waaw
xam nga foofu la em kon di leen jox assurance rek di leen wax ne ni ngeen ko diggee démba biñ doore ci 2009 ci weeri July ba tey ci tànka yooyu lañ nekka ci taxawaay boobu lañ nekka kii yàlla dénka kiw groupe bi lim làmboo su ko Gambia xamee léegi-léegi nga dégg suñu amee ñaari Mohamed Dia ñetti Mohamed Dia juróomi Mohamed Dia
waaw
waaye Gambia suñu amoon man saa gu nekk ma dégg ko
am na ku ma ne suñ amoon fi at least 5 Mohamed Dia loolu dégg naa ko
xam nga dañ ko dee dégg
waaw loolu moo laa woon nit ku bëgg a réewam nit ku fonk réewam nit ku taxaw ci dëgga nit ku bëgg a liggéey angale daf dee wax ne soo amee talent nga hard work nga boole ko ak discipline.
waaw
loolu success la.
loolu success la
waaw loolu yàlla moo la ubbil yoon.
yàlla moo la ubbil yoon.
waaw dëgg la te loolu moo nekk di xew.
loolu moo nekk di xew. kii gisul leneen xamul leneen lu dul Gambia lépp lu mu gis ci lu baax ci biti. dina ko indi ci biir réew mi fii. te lépp lu mu ami tamit dina ko bokk ak ñun.
waaw dëgg
ñun waa Gambia.
dëgg
suñ corporate social responsibility ñëpp gis nañ naka la toll next to none national scorpion si Dina Bass konte leen ko yéen Gambie yéen a ngi koo gis
health facility
bu nekk dégg na ma ne every September ma October si school di ubbi grade 12 exam si jeex nañ ñaar fukki xale lay jël ne ñii maa leen ameel seen jàng su university for the next 4 years addi duma bàyyi may wax lu amut ma amee seen jàng seen full scholarship maa la ko ñu jógee ci 10 dem ci 20 xam nga kooku kon bàyyiwul réew mi ñeneen ñi ñoo xam ne sax wax dëgg na yàlla seeni waajur muy suñoo génta mu suñoo xalaat
dinañ dem
university seen doom dina dem university because ñoom demuñ university su yaakaaruñ ko woon kon nekkaam fii dama ko dee wax du sans mérite la.
dëgg la.
nekkam fii ci biir réew mi fii.
dëgg la.
du sans mérite la.
dëgg la.
kon di leen continuer di leen jox dig daje ak yéen. dina wax lu ñu leen diggati. o lu ñu leen waxati.
dinañ ko def
dinañ ko def.
waaw dëgg la sondee call bi firndeel na ko.
firndeel na ko.
waaw mu ngi mel ni.
24 hours free call.
waaw.
guleet. ori olof yi guleet. ci biir réew mi. guleet ci biir réew mi. et par ñu taxaw fii ci samedi bi. def ci présentation bu rafet. mais ci ay kii power. si saasi.
waaw si saasi dañ laa kool nii.
si saasi
ñu ne la jot nga ko nga ne ñu jot nañ ko.
waaw kon gàcce ngalaama. waaye di ko jaajëfal moom itamit di jaajëfal lieutenant général yi mi am. xam nga nag ami commande moom.
ay brigadier
général yi mu am.
waaw field marshal
yi mu am. dinañ jaajëfal bu baax.
waaw exactement
gàcce ngalaama ñooñu. senior management bi yéen ñëpp jërë ngeen jëf. ci taxawaay bi.
dëgg la
ndig moom kenn rek mënu koo def.
daf ko dee wax.
waaw daf ko dee wax dëgg neex yàlla kon nag sant leen sant liggéeykaay bi bu baax a baax. sant réewi Gambia. képp ku fi nekk muy gan waaye fekk yaa ngi amee ndomba 3 ak ndomba 5.
waaw
team bank ci biti. ñu ngi pare pour génn léegi nii pour demaat ci biti jox leen sim card yooyu noonu indi leen seen ID card. free of charge duñ leen laaj dërëm. kon nag ñu ngi fi demuñ fenn.
thank you bari musidɓe ɓen andintinaw ha joni ko QCell service ji ɗi annduɗa ko ɗin ɗon adda ko ɗin ɗon mi woni yewtude eɗon andi oɗo dimanche yawtuɗo ɗo ko free call te noon kadi dimanche kala mo annduɗa yoni tun ko free call watta a yoɓata e hunde hay si tawi crédit ma on ko 0.00 won ton hay si tawi a ñawli fankanta a wawa wadde call ko free call QCell addani on dimanche uji ɗen fuɗɗore gila 12 midnight ya ha subaka tenen o mais yeto ɗum ɗo ko hunde nde annduɗa ko QCell tun wawi ɗum ha pare kadi somoditas place on no ɗon data internet ɓurɗo weeɓude ko QCell jogiti jeri ngeen jëf QCell. Yes, thank you.
I just want to say something direct. Bala QCell li ñëw Gambia. Gambia xamutoon 3G. It was 2G. ñu fi nekkoon yëpp kenn jéemu ko trayoon sax. And 3G was new technology back then. So QCell buñ force ñëwoon fii ñu ne lan lañ mun a andi Gambia yoo xam ne yeneen dëkk yi sax not just tubaab bi Africa sax some people musuñ ko experience. So Mohamed when he came. Mission bi and vision bi was ñu indi Gambian loo xam ne outside world bi ñu ko am. So 3G was one of the first thing QCell bu mu andi and we were the first. Other networks lu ñu laa jox mooy voice rek. ñun indi leen 3G ñu indi ba pare bu ñu indee di 3G network tamit emuñ si indil nañ leen device yoo xam ne mu ngeen koo use. Some people can remember the Muslim phones. Those were one of the first 3G devices sold in the country. Ay data cards yi ñoo ko introduce ba nit ñi mun a am access da nga gis ku am laptop musuta connect internet. ba QCell bu mu ñëwee indil ko 3G jox ko 3G data card mu mun a am access to the internet with his or her laptop. So these were innovations yoo xam ne Gambians didn't think that it was possible back then. Same with the 4G NACA technology and also with the 5G. So all these three technologies from 3, 4, 5. First company to bring it here, QCell.
QCell ñoo ñeme.
So
QCell ñoo muna indi innovation.
Yes, of course, because so ko xoolee apart from that, a lot of services yu ngeen xew léegi nii QCell ñoo ko indi. So you see credit loan services, we were the first to introduce it, then others follow suit. So you see mobile Q power, cash power, buying cash power without leaving your comfort zone. QCell don't give Q power back in 2013. So a lot of this with the data bundles, the SMS plus, all these were...
In fact, all these WhatsApp chats, you know, definitely QCell more than you can create Q Bantaba. You know, it's a replica of WhatsApp today.
The groups.
You know, it was a group, I mean, whereby Q Bantaba 555, you can keep chatting with different people, multiple people at the same time. And even with your simple phone, you would be part of the Q Bantaba. So look at today, we have WhatsApp. So we've been here for the Gambian populate for a very, very long time, and we will continue to deliver. Thank you, Buba, for coming. Thank you, Barry, for coming. Mr. Adedrame, thank you for hosting.
For pretending to be Mr. Mboj.
Exactly. Thank you very much. Yes. You know, probably if Mr. Mboj is not sleeping again, he would be out. He's not feeling. He's not feeling okay. So we wish you, Mr. Mboj, a speedy recovery and come back to us. Yeah. So until then, do enjoy the rest of our programs. Bye.